Hi, welcome in. If you're here, you are stepping into your highest timeline, and I am here to help you navigate that journey. I'm just going to tap in, get a channeled message from Spirit, pull some cards. We'll go wherever the energy takes us. If at any point during this message something does resonate with you, please hit that like button and comment and let me know. All right, let me get tapped in. Tapping into the collective now, Spirit. Please bring this message through to anyone who needs to hear it. Remove me, make me a clear channel for you. Bring through messages for their highest and greatest good and ones that would resonate to let them know this message is for them. What message does the collective need to know in this moment, Spirit? Seeing a diving board and like a kid jumping high off that diving board and cannonballing into the pool, and just, reckless abandon, like fun, childlike energy. I get that you are watching this and enjoying the carefree nature of this and enjoying the peace. Yeah. Really just sitting and watching fun and realizing this is what life's about. Like, you were missing this. Like, you were missing just relaxing and watching people have fun. Like, this wasn't part of your day, ever, for a very long time. Like, you never sit poolside. Yeah, and I'm getting that it's like really dawning on you, like, oh, people do this. Like, people relax. Fun's okay. And you know what? There's like a little bit of unease inside of you that's still kind of an old pattern or something, a story telling you can't have too much fun, can't sit out here all day. And the fact that you're like acknowledging that voice, you hear that voice and you're like, dang, I've been telling myself that this wasn't okay, that something's not okay with relaxing. So I'm actually getting a little bit of sadness for yourself. So you're realizing how much you don't relax, how nice this relaxing how nice this relaxing is, but you're like a little sad that, like, oh my gosh, I was telling myself that this wasn't okay and that I can't do this, judging myself for this. And I'm getting that the kid on the diving board jumping in, that's like your kids or your family around you. And so your inability to relax and just let life unfold and have fun, your inability to do that was pouring out onto others. So your kids or the people around you are feeling the fact that you're relaxing now. And they're saying, like, yes, please keep relaxing. Please, can we keep having fun? I want to see you relax. And so you have a little bit of guilt, because as soon as we acknowledge things, right, we start getting guilty about like all the old patterns that we used to run. Gosh, I was really uptight. Gosh, I'm hearing Spirit say, don't beat yourself up for this. You had to do all of the things that you did. You had to work hard. You had to burn the candle at both ends. You had to take on those patterns to protect yourself. But Spirit's just saying, now rest. Now notice where you're not able to rest and turn that around. In fact, make it like a duty or one of your priorities too. And it's not just like resting, like healing resting. It's like fun, laid back, watching TV, hanging out by the pool, taking a picnic, going to a park, like just whatever you do that just feels like restful but also fun. And fill your day with as much as that as possible, and show those around you that you can be this laid back, fun. I'm getting like a we're on vacation vibe, but how can you bring that we're on vacation vibe every day into your life? All right, let's pull some cards. I'm getting Souls on Fire. Souls on Fire from Soulful Revolution. Well, so this sounds like you may be starting to relax a little. You may have had a moment recently where you were able to relax and you realized like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. But Spirit's saying one of the systems that we are breaking down is that whole like toxic masculinity, we need to do, or like the crazy work schedules that we've had. So Spirit's saying one thing that we need to do to like help New Earth usher along and bring in this new frequency of this life that feels reciprocal and restful, and is we need to incorporate how New Earth would feel. So New Earth would not feel like crazy and busy, and no, it would feel like you're on vacation. It would feel good. It would feel relaxed. So I'm getting that maybe recently you had a situation where you were able to relax and you were like, man, I wish I could do this more often. Or I wish this wasn't just twice a year on vacation. Or I wasn't, and Spirit saying it doesn't need to be. And the only reason it is that way is because of you. Like the expectations you put on yourself. So figure out how to work it in, even if you're working it into work or working it into parenting or working it into other responsibilities. What more for this collective spirit? Okay. Pretty clear message I get with the cards right off the bat. So I get the Six of Cups. This is a card of nostalgia. This is a card of going back to when you were a kid and you were able to jump off diving boards and you didn't think for a second about like, oh, we need to make sure all the laundry's done and we need to make sure, you know, that we put chemicals in the pool. Like, go back to when you were a kid and it's just like you could have done, think of your summer breaks. Like you could have just the whole summer laid out and had fun and not cared. And everything was just kind of blissful. Like Spirit saying, remember what that was like and bring some of that summer break back into your life now. And I get the Empress. So the Empress knows her worth and she like sits back and she receives. How she creates in this world, because she's an amazing creator, and she brings life to things. So again, like with the channeling, I was feeling like your family can really feel that you don't ever relax and that you don't ever rest. And so you're creating that pattern in them as well. So I get, as you sit back and understand your worth and understand that you deserve rest, the Empress sits back and she's like, you know, she gets grapes fed to her. You know, and she gets fanned with palms. Like she sits back and she knows she is creating life because she's pregnant here. And what I'm getting with that is like you're creating life for those around you by relaxing. Like you're creating an environment that inspires people to be themselves and to relax and have fun and love this life. You're creating that by sitting back and relaxing and owning the space of like, we own this. We get to enjoy this earth. Okay, so the Empress isn't like worried about all the things that she's doing or not doing. She's worried, she's just receiving. Okay, So Spirit's saying, think back about what you did as a child, or that childlike abandon, that energy, bring it back into your life, sit back and receive. And the life you're creating is really creating life and spark and love and enjoyment for those around you. Like, you're doing something. Like, I know that so often we do all of these things because we want to be seen as valuable, or we want to be seen as a good spouse, or we want to be seen as a good mother, or a good father, or a good employee. But they're saying, like, the best person you can be is one that sits back, knows their worth, and receives, and creates a space for everyone that they feel comfortable. They feel like they're allowed to sit. They're allowed to enjoy. They're allowed to be a kid. They're allowed to do things that speak to their heart. That's really the gift you're giving. So you need to prioritize it, just like you would all of the tasks that you feel like you need to do. And I get this Ace of Swords, which is clarity, coming in. This is what I'm getting with this, because I get the Hermit. This means you went inside. So you have recently done some real internal work, or what I'm getting from Spirit right now is when your nervous system starts kicking up and is like, oh, I can't relax. I can't sit here and watch this TV show, or I can't sit here and just enjoy myself, or I can't take a whole day to do nothing, or I can't take a whole day to just like take a stroll and a walk. I have other things to do. Whenever your anxiety starts to raise, like, am I doing enough, or should I do this? Spirit's saying, you have all the answers inside of you. The answer is going to be yes. And if you go in hermit mode, if you go internally and you meditate, and your nostalgic inner child lives most in your heart chakra. So if you go inside and you really tap into your heart and you say, what do you want to do, baby? How can I nurture you right now? And you go back to that inner child is going to say, I want to have fun. I want to go for a walk, you know? And so that's where you can say, okay, girlfriend, well, that's what we're doing. And you'll get all of those answers by going inside and asking that inner child of yours, asking your true self, what do I really need to do? And you'll realize when you go in there that all of the nervous system ramping up is just old patterns. They're lies. You don't need to do what you're doing right now. You're just uncomfortable relaxing. So that's the work. That's the work. And it's not, that work may not ever be done, but you're becoming aware of it. Like I got in the message, something happened recently where you felt relaxed and you saw a glimmer of what life could be. And you were like, this is what I want life to be like all the time. I want to incorporate more of this. I don't want this to just be a couple times a year thing. And Spirit's saying, yeah, that's the clarity. That's the clarity that I'm giving you. It doesn't need to be. You can work it in. And how you do that is you simply go inside, tap in with your heart space. What does your little girl or little boy want to do right now? And then give that to them. Give it to them. Okay? And that's how you start to allow others to do this same process, to see where they're running old patterns and see where they can let themselves off the hook too. And by doing that, you're nourishing your little girl or little boy. You're healing yourself. Okay? So I get that this is painful for you. This is hard. This isn't just like, why can't you just chill out? Or why can't you just relax by the pool? Or why do you... It's like, I get you saying like, it's not that easy for me. It's like super hard for me to take time for myself. And what I'm really getting with this 5 of Cups is you, in these moments, you really think about, but who am I if I don't do those things? how valuable am I if I just sit around and do nothing, or if I just take care of myself? Like, there's something really here that makes you feel guilty doing these things. You have like, but who's gonna do them? Or, well, what does that say about me, and who am I becoming? Because these patterns that you took on, you built an identity around, and these patterns you took on, you're proud of. You do a lot of good work, you do a lot of stuff, but at this point, they're having your like adrenals run on high. Like, you're constantly like, what should I be doing? And you don't. Spirit wants you to have a chiller life, because this pattern that you're sad to lose, because you're like, well, I built a lot of identity around that. It has caused you a lot of heartbreak. You're resentful. You feel like you can never relax. You're always chasing something, some dream. When I do this, I can relax. When I get to this point, I can relax. And Spirit's saying, no, that's not the truth. In fact, you'll just do that until you die. So it's causing you a lot of heartbreak, sitting here thinking, but what happens to me when I just let all the balls drop? What happens to me when I take time for myself? And Spirit's saying, there's 2 full cups over here. These are already spilled milk. These are already spilled over. They're not even good. They're causing you heartbreak. Look behind you. There's a life that's like fulfilling, that you love yourself, that you own your worth. You sit back and receive, and it just feels good. And so I'm getting that Spirit's saying the decision is up to you. Here's the decision of that. This is the decision that's good for New Earth. Because when you do this, you raise the frequency. When you start relaxing and living your rich life and loving how your life feels, and being like you won the lottery, or you got the secret to life, because you're like, oh my gosh, I can just hang out all the time. Oh my gosh, I've worked in all this relaxation, all this nurturing of myself. So now I can show up for other people more. Now my cup's full. I can pour on to others. People are noticing. My kids, my family, my coworkers are noticing, like, I'm laid back. I'm not always like bah, 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 all the time. So Spirit's saying you get to choose. Do you want the world? What world do you want to live in? What does your life that you want look like? What do your habits, your patterns, what does it look like? And choose that. In fact, I'm getting from this card is that's all you need to do is choose. And how do you choose? You go inside, you go internal, you get in touch with your inner child, you know what she or he would really want you to do. And then you own that. And you move from that clarity, the clarity inside yourself, not the clarity that's your nervous system, that society, that a protective pattern that you had to take on. Anything more for this collective spirit? Any last messages? Okay, so Spirit's acknowledging you've been through a lot. This is the wounded warrior. So you did not get these patterns that you run, this like, I have to do a lot for nothing. I have had to do a lot. This is 9 wands, okay? This is action. Wands is fire. I have had to take action over and over and over and over and over again for survival. That was the path you chose. There's nothing against you. You're not like, you shouldn't have done that. Like, no, you had to. You chose that life. But this is the 9. And 9 is right before 10. And 10 is completion. Okay? So you are ready to put down all of this action. And what you've proven, this is what I'm getting from Spirit, what you've proven from taking all of this action so diligently and doing a lot is that you have so much strength. And now Spirit's just saying, apply it to resting. Apply it to doing nothing, doing less. Apply it to what your inner child wants you to do. This is society saying, do this, do that. How are you going to prove your worth? You need to be worth something. You need to do this. You need to prove, right? Prove, work, make money, like whatever all these reasons are that we do things. But we're moving to a place from our healing that the only things we do are so intentional that we do them from a place of truth, a place of your true self saying, this is what I want to do. Doesn't mean we do nothing. Of course, we're like a person that likes to maybe have a clean house, likes to have their, car maintenance done. Like it's okay that like but those are things you want to do because you enjoy something, not things that you feel like you have to do and impede all of the things that your little heart wants to do. Okay? And Spirit's telling me you can work those things in and you can work them in now. You do not need to wait until the circumstances are perfect. And once I do just a little bit more, maybe I'll create a life for myself. Maybe if I lose this job, or maybe if I get out of this relationship, maybe I can work in some of that life. But right now, I just can't do any of that, No. Yes, you can. Do it. Do it in small increments and then realize like, hell yeah, that was awesome. And I loved it. And I didn't feel like a piece of shit for doing it. And if you do feel like a piece of shit for taking time for yourself or for resting or for nurturing yourself, that's really where the healing work comes in, right? And if you're going to take any action, take more action to go against your pattern. So do the things that make you feel nurtured or restful or just that have to do with your rich life. And as you sit there and your nervous system's going, I shouldn't be doing this, be like, well, we're going to do it anyway. And I'm going to do it until it feels normal, it feels good, and it feels like it's filling my cup. Spirit's saying you have all the strength to do this. You've already proven how much you can do. So prove that you can do less. And all it comes down to is you choosing. But Spirit wants you to know that you choosing this lifestyle, what's possible for you, helps other people and the world understand and choose what's possible for them. The lighthouse can show you the shore, but you still need to steer the ship. If any of this resonated, please leave me a comment, and until next message.